and I'm also talk about I'm also talk about how I got into trading and what trading does for me. Okay, so real quick, because I think a lot of times people don't realize that there's a difference between regular trading and day trading, and there's also a difference between options trading and day trading. Now, day traders' idea is they're trying to get in the market, make some money, and get out during the day. Well, I'm not a day trader. I used to be when I first started because I used to trade when I went to my job every day. Before I went to my trial, I worked the afternoon shift. So what I would do is I would trade in the morning when the market opened up at 9:30, and then I'd go and I trade, and then I try to make as much money as I could. Sometimes that trade will be going into the day, my work day. So I literally be taking a shower, brushing my teeth, looking at the market, trying to make sure my trade's not fucking up. So then eventually, what I end up realizing is that, okay, I got to start trading options. So, of course, looking at courses, buying books, buying audible books, because audible books allow me to listen to the books while I worked. So I would walk around and do patrols and check on property stuff, and be able to listen to books and get an education at the same time, right? So how's that? I like that better. I'm in the middle of folding clothes and stuff like that. So anyway, by the way, if you didn't know, I'm in Japan right now because this is what learning with trading and insurance policies and corporate credit has allowed me to do. It's allowed me to be able to um, go a whole year without working and then leave the country after that working on some business ideas and still spend another several months before I even eventually decided that, I thought it was a lie when people say, oh man, I got bored, man, so I came back to work. I was like, man, I ain't never finna get that bored, man. But I can't say, it depends on what happens in your life. Um, Sometimes you can, it depends on you. Like me, naturally, I'm the kind of person that don't have to be around a lot of people. So if you're the type of person that's always around people, then you may never get bored because you're always around your friends, you're always around your family, you're around associates, you're always out. So, but if you're a solitary person, that can have an effect on you. Because me, I don't have to be around 20, 30 people. I don't really want to be. So if you're a trader, the great thing trading did for me is it allowed me to be able to make money without having to go to a job. And that's what, then what research did for me was it allowed me to understand how to find countries that would allow my size of an account to be able to, so I could afford to live in a different country with my size account. So what I learned trading options, which I started to do calls, puts, and then I eventually started to do what they call the wheel strategy. Now I'm gonna tell you the wheel strategy. A lot of people won't do it, and the reason why they won't do it or won't talk about it in their on their channel is because the wheel strategy has no glamour to it. It's not a glamorous strategy. Not only that, but it doesn't make you a lot of money. When I was day trading in the market, it would be some days that I'd be on my way to work $500 up on a $2,000 account, and going crazy. Like, oh gosh, and then it started becoming a thing where $100 was within a minute. Soon the market opened up, or I waited 30 minutes after the market opened up, and then next thing I know, as soon as I get into a trade, $100, I'm in, I'm out. Then the next, I might do that 3 or 4 times during the week, and then I do another trade that cost me $200 or $300. So I realized, and I was doing this fluctuating thing all the time. Um, and so it's really risk management and how much chance do you really be taking with your trades. Um, so what I realized is that I didn't really want to do. I didn't want to be. trading daily like that anymore. And I knew that I didn't want the risk involved anymore. I wanted a strategy that allowed me to make money um, more than what the average market return would be, which is between 8 and 13%. I wanted to make more than that. I wanted to make a monthly income, if not a weekly income, and I wanted to be able to see my account grow. But I didn't want to take a lot of risk. And what 5 years of trading eventually got me to, after doing spreads, I did every kind of spread you're talking about, man. It wasn't no trade strategy that I didn't do. Any trade strategy anybody can talk about, I've done it. Selling calls, buying calls, selling puts, buying puts, spreads. Every different kind of spread you're talking about, you can name. I've done them all. So iron condors. If you look on my channel, you'll see I was crazy about iron condors for a while there, man. I was just, um, but eventually I got to the point where I was just like, you know what? I like this strategy that I have, which is, and I'll pardon me, this. If you watch any of my channels, you will see that as soon as it's a nervous reaction. As soon as I turn on the camera, I start getting like, So anyway, I found out that the um, spreading it out and doing this, what I'm doing, you can do leap options, which leap options are good because you can do an option that goes way out, a year out. And to me, that's really good if you're doing SPYQQQ. SPYQQQ leap options a year out, and you just watch it grow slowly. It's going to do a lot of bouncing. The only downside to that is what if you go into a recession at that time? Whatever you put on the line, that's your ass. Um, the other thing is, with the strategy that I'm doing, I can set it out. I try to trade things that I want that has expiration dates within a week's time or a month's time, and that way I can say, well, how much do I want to make off of this? I want to, okay, well, it's only going to pay me $20 for a week. And then some of those things, if my account is big enough to be able to hold or pay for 100 shares of that, that's the thing. That's the trick about what I'm doing. You have got to be able to have an account that's big enough to be able to buy or buy 100 shares of whatever it is. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, that's easy. I just find something that costs $1. That can cost you. Trust me. I know. I did it. And what ends up happening is if you buy the wrong thing or something that you don't want, it goes from $1 to being worth 50 cents. Now, something you thought was a cheap trade didn't amount to anything. Not only that, but also keep in consideration that everything that you buy that costs $1 probably is only going to pay you on your option $3, $4, $5. If you're lucky, $5 in a couple months. So think about it. You put $100 on the line, and you might make $5 in 2 months. You might as well go back to buying calls. Now, because that's not really worth it. So what I'm saying is this kind of strategy is really good for $5,000 accounts, $10,000 account, up $30,000 account. And when you got a 10,000, when I first left the country, just to be transparent, I was in the 10,000 range. So therefore, based upon what I was doing, I averaged that every month on a $10,000 wheel strategy account, trading account, doing a wheel strategy, that you're probably going to average about $300. I don't know what nobody else do. I don't care what nobody else say. $10,000 account, give or take, is going to average you somewhere around, depending on what you're trading, depending on what assets you're trading, depending on all that stuff. Because some people are going to take the 10,000 and do all of that on one particular asset, one particular stock. Me, I diversify. I believe in diversifying. So obviously, I'm going to take 10,000, break it up into thirds. Probably do 3,000, 3,000, and 3,000, and then leave 1,000 or give or take or whatever into some things that I purchased that give me residual incomes every month, which is basically was my strategy. Take 3,000, 3,000, and 3,000, break them up into the spread, into the strategy, and then leave myself somewhere around 1,000 or so, just in monthly dividends or weekly dividends, usually monthly. Some of them were quarterly, but mostly monthly dividends because I wanted to. Yeah, it didn't matter if it was $1 they gave me a month, $2 they gave me a month, 30 cents, monthly dividends. And if you look on my channels or my YouTube or my Instagram or anything, some of them you'll see where I break down some of the ones that I buy for monthly dividends. It's not the big. You got to understand, the bigger the account, the more dividends. The bigger the account, the bigger the residuals. Is not about buying, taking a lot of risk with a little account. It's about getting your account bigger, and that way you can take less risk. It goes like this: the higher the risk is, the lower the account. It's people with low accounts start taking a lot of risk, and then they blow their accounts. What you're trying to do is you're trying to switch that, and what you want to take your risk and bring your risk down and bring your account size up, and that's when you see it exponentially changes for you. The higher bigger your account, the less risk you got to take to make the money. And that's why you see the people on YouTube talking about, well, man, on my $100,000 account, I made $10,000 a month, $3,000 a month. Yeah, or my, what I'm saying, $5,000 a month on my 100,000. Yes, that's very true. You will on a $100,000 account. You will make $2,500 on a $50,000 account. You know what I'm saying? Give or take. You know what I'm saying? I don't even, I don't think you would make that much unless you're taking more risk. But I believe that if you have a 10,000, you're gonna make about three. 20,000, you're gonna make about $600. 30,000, I believe you'll make somewhere close to $1,000 a month using the wheel strategy. So I would say, that's what I've been, I went from trading, I went from, you know, coming from an entrepreneurial background. I was a barber for 15 years, just telling you my story. I had barber shops, I had tattoo shops. I got into the real estate game, the real estate market. I had got up to about nearly $1 million in properties under my control, meaning that the properties were worth. If you did the appraisal on them, when you did the appraisal on them, all my properties collectively were close to $1 million in value. That's what I mean. And so when the market crashed, because I couldn't refinance some of those, that's how many people lost it. That's why I always say the best businessman is the best middleman. Get in the middle of the transaction. Try not to be left holding the bag. And that's the one thing that trading does. Again, I will always keep on reverting back to trading because trading was the thing that answered every mistake that I made in the past. I got out of the barber game, I traveled. I got out of the real estate game, I traveled. You know what I'm saying? In between all of that, I would always get these little jobs, whether it be security. And then eventually, when the market crashed, I ended up started going full-fledged on my degrees and finishing those lifelong dreams that I had about getting educations. And because I knew that I couldn't stand behind a chair forever. And I knew that the market of real estate goes up and down. And I was just like, I have to get something, finish my education. I started it, let me finish it. So I did an associate's degree, and then I finished a bachelor's degree. Bachelor's was in business administration, healthcare administration. Then I did a master's degree, At that time, everything was going toward sustainability, and my theory was because of the market loss, I was thinking about creating homes that were sustainable and affordable for people, for everybody, instead of you getting yourself into this indentured servancy, this slavery that will cost you every month, where you had to work like a dog in order to pay mortgages and car notes and insurances and et cetera, et cetera. Then, I was like, man, there's got to be a better way. Well, then I started getting into the tiny home, and you talking about 2009, 2010. If you ask any of my contemporaries, they'll tell you that guy has been talking about dome homes, tiny home, container homes since 2009, 2010, right after the market crash. I went on this thing. I went around the country. I went to Texas. I went to New Mexico, to Taos, New Mexico, to see the earth ships. I mean, I went everywhere to trying to study different kind of housing structure, because I believe that every human being deserved the right to have a house without being a slave. Um, and that's what, and after that, I finished my degree in sustainability. And my dream was to build sustainable housing for people, so affordable and sustainable housing. Needless to say, I didn't really get into it. I never really found a way to get into it, break into that, or I never did break into that. But I kept going back to the real estate and housing thing, and I ended up getting into property management. And then I really started going into my trading thing, something that was always on the back of my mind since I was young, when I used to think about the Mercantile Exchange in Chicago, and I had a glimpse of the movies of Michael Douglas and Greed is Good, and the guys in the power suits, and I always had these dreams of being successful and happy, and thinking that material makes you happy. But of course, life has taught me that it's not the material, it's not the things that makes you happy. It's the freedom to do whatever you want to do when you feel like doing it, and make the people around you happy and successful. That's the key to happiness, in my opinion. But so yeah, money is a tool, but it depends on how you use it. At any rate, so then I started building up this account, and I started studying about trading, and I started, continue doing little entrepreneurial ventures, working little jobs, and using those monies to build up my account, and using my side hustles to build up my account, and doing all different kind of little side hustles. If it came up, I tried it to give it a shot. It's just in my blood to be an entrepreneur, to give everything a shot. And and I'm starting companies, and I've been starting companies since 99, 2001, maybe 2001 was my first corporation. So I've been doing this for years. And shout out to my man, Derek Devante, the house head. He was the one who kind of got me into the LLCs and all of that in 2000, early 2000s. And with that, I learned how to start building up corporate credit. And then also I started learning how to become my own bank. So I studied all of these different YouTubers and different things, and buying the books and listening to the audible books, and learning how to open up these kind of insurance policies and stuff like that to become my own bank, and then open up these credit accounts and build up my own corporate credit and stuff like that, and start these companies and stuff. And you let all the money that was coming in, let the companies pay for everything, and pay my rent, pay my insurance, pay my car notes, and let the money let the companies make the money, and the companies pay the bills. And it's just a system, and it works. The problem, I think, a lot of people is they don't want to use the system. They want to, they don't want to use the wealth system that's already been created. That's just what it is. I mean, if you get off your ass and stop being lazy, use the system that's already created. The crazy thing is, it takes less work physically than it takes mentally. That's why people say that some people don't have the mental prowess or mental ability, because they don't understand why a person could stay poor when it actually takes less work physically, more work mentally. You'll sit at home doing this and get richer faster than you'll go out scrubbing thing, working hard, flipping fries, flipping burgers. No, nothing against it. I've done all of that. I worked at Cinnabon, McDonald's, Burger King. Come on, man, name it. I done worked at the pizza places. I done worked at restaurants. Man, my life, you can't tell me nothing. I done did it. I done did it. Man, I'd have been out there with the car wash places and stuff. I used to wash cars and detail cars when I was young. I used to shovel snow. I used to cut grass. Man, you ask anybody in my neighborhood, man, I used to have a shovel and I used to cut grass and shit. So, man, I've been a hustler since I was young. So, that's what I'm telling you, man. I just came from Thailand, Cambodia. Now I'm in Japan, and I'm here to tell you that trading can change your life. Life insurance can change your life. Corporations and corporate credit can change your life. You got to do it. You got to go down the system and use the system and build off of it and create this reality. That's it. And also use the points. So get these cards and then make sure that the cards that you get are actually, this is not what this video is really about. It's really about trading. And maybe I should just wait later and talk about that other stuff anyway. But you can build your trade account. Idea, take your money, pay yourself first. Build your trade account first. That's the thing. That is the thing. People, I can't do that. I got to pay my bill. No. No. Build your trade account first, okay? You know, if you got $100 to spare, you know what I'm saying? As soon as you get your check, if your check $1,000, take 10% off the top before you pay a bill. What you need to learn how to do is live your lifestyle cheaper than what you're doing. If you find yourself at the end, you got more bills at the end of your check, then the problem is you living beyond your means. Nobody ain't telling you that. I'm telling you. Like, well, I only make, well, you only spending too much. That's it. You know, if you make $1,000 with your car, no $400, and your car insurance $500, and your rent is $600, and you realizing that damn, when it's done, when it's said and done, I'm still $20, $200 in the hole every month. You're living beyond your means. The first thing off top, you're supposed to be able to take 10%, 15%. In the beginning, 10%. After a couple months, you'll find you should be able to do 15%. Within a year, you'll probably be able to do 20%. That's how it started working for me. First, I was doing 10%. As soon as my check come in, I'm taking 10% off the top. Every $1,000, $100 is coming off the top. If there's a $2,000 check, $200 is coming off the top, going straight to my trade account. And I started realizing, wait a minute. I thought I couldn't even survive before. I couldn't even survive without. I think I needed this shit. Then I realized, no, I didn't. What I was doing was I was wasting more money. I was buying out food, Uber Eats food more. I was going to restaurants more. I was doing shit, you know, to spend that $200. Then I realized I didn't have to do that. If I took that money off the top, I never saw it. But I did see something. My trade account started going. So then the security inside myself started building. And then when motherfuckers at a job start talking shit like, if I fire me, doesn't make me nervous. Yeah, doesn't make me scared. I'm good because I know I put my best foot forward at my job, and therefore, first of all, I'm underpaid no matter what you're paying me, because you can't pay me enough money for the time in my life to get my time back. If you gave me $20 an hour, at the end of my life, $20 wouldn't be worth a minute extra. You can't buy it. You can't buy time. But the major trick that people have given to you is they tricked you into believing that they can pay for your life. But the reality is nobody can. It's so short. You know, this time on the planet is so short. You have to realize that every time you're selling an hour of your life, you can never get it back. And even if you turned around and tried to pay somebody 10 times the amount they paid you to get that minute back at the end of your life, you couldn't do it. That's why people at the end of their life are trying to spend their money to prolong their life. You see it with all the stars, you see it with everybody. They keep trying to extend their life. They try to extend their appearance, they try to extend their life. Now they're trying to clone themselves, they're trying to get body parts. And eventually it will be able to do it, you know. You'll be able to take your conscience out, but right now we haven't got to that point. The point is, save your money, build your money up, build your account up. Right now, while the market is still doing what the market do, it ain't collapsed yet. It goes into recessions. That's just a natural part of the economy for it right now. Until cryptocurrency takes over or some other form of digital currency takes over, we still got the regular market. So use that tool to make you wealthy. And if you feel, put 1% over in the crypto. Put 1% over in art and blue chip art. I do. I use Masterworks. You can look at my go in my thing and you can get you a Masterworks account. Look at my description. You know, I got art, so I'm diversifying. So, and you should be too. Listen, I'm Mr. Cosmic Training Academy. Leave me a message. Like and subscribe if you want to. I'm in Japan. I'll probably be in the Philippines in a couple months. Right now, I'm really loving Japan, just chilling. I mean, the reality is if you could change your location and be fun. The crazy part is when I went to Thailand, it was cheaper to live in Thailand. If you look at my videos, you see I was living in cribs that had swimming pools and everything all around me for $300. It was $1,400 a month in Atlanta for a dirty ass swimming pool in Buckhead, for some motherfucking ghetto ass people around. You know what I'm saying? Place smelled like marijuana the whole time. For $1,400, pissy ass motherfucking dogs pissing and shit now, dirty ass neighbors for $1,400. Come on, man. I came to Thailand for $350. I was living in the higher luxury than I was living in Atlanta. Come on, you scared? Stop being scared. Stop being scared to adjust your life. Stop being scared to get your destiny. No, you know what I'm saying? If you really want to see some different shit in this world, stop being scared to step outside of who you are, what you are, and redefine yourself. The people who accomplish the most in life is the people who are not scared to change themselves. I don't care who you believe. If you like sports people, look at them. Look at any sports player and follow their lives. I challenge you to do it. Look at any sports player and watch how, if you look at the history of their life, you'll see they went outside of what they normally did and changed it. If you look at any superstar, if you follow their career, you will see that they, at some point in time, they realized they had to step outside of themselves to get to the next level every time. Either they had to exceed themselves, they had to work harder in the gym, they had to shoot more basketball, they had to throw more footballs, they had to lift more weights. But either way it goes, what they had to do is they had to go higher each and every time. They had to step out of their comfort zone each and every time. Stop being comfortable, man. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, man. Cosmic Training Academy, man. Mr. Cosmic. If y'all got any questions, send me a message. I don't got all the answers, man, but I can tell you what I do know. Check out some of my videos. Anything I can do to help, man, I'm here. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on the other side. Peace.